It's my pleasure to welcome families, friends, teachers, and students to the graduation of Radnor High School Class of 2019. My name is Caroline Barnhart, and I've had the incredible honor of serving as the Vice President to this wonderful grade for 3 out of the 4 years. I bore witness to the immense accomplishments of all the individuals of this class and their achievements as a whole. Not only are we incredibly academic, we are an ambitious, interconnected, fun class that most importantly embodies the sense of community that Radnor values so highly. One of my favorite quotes is that happiness shared is doubled, but sorrow shared is halved. And I've seen this exemplified time and time again in this wonderful group of people. We're quick to build each other up, supporting fundraisers, sports teams, clubs, and movements provided by our peers. But we're also fast to support each other whenever necessary, rallying behind our own in times of need. Our class excels at everything. We flooded AP classes, overwhelmed varsity athletics, destroyed LM Week, and single-handedly rejuvenated clubs and activities on the brink of extinction. There's an overwhelming amount of talent in this school, but what I'll remember most is our ability to connect, forging relationships that supersede social standing or any length of time. I want to thank all the parents gathered here today. You've all raised incredible people. Thank you to our teachers and academic staff, both at the high school and earlier in our learning careers. You've witnessed us grow from juveniles throwing food in the cafeteria to mature students who ride scooters through the hallway instead as our prank. These 4 years have been an unforgettable journey that's prepared us for the future, whatever it may hold, but I've never been more confident of things to come. So thank you for the memories, Radnor. We love you and we thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a wonderful person and our class treasurer, Sebastian Bryant.
Hey everybody, I'm Sebastian Bryant, and over the past year, I've had the distinct pleasure of serving as class treasurer for the senior class of 2019. I'm excited to graduate today, but this is not, in fact, the first graduation I've attended. I remember during my freshman and sophomore years sitting way back there, playing my cello with the orchestra, absent-mindedly watching hundreds of people I didn't know graduate. What most struck me about the ceremony then was never the keynote speaker or anything of that sort. It was always the introduction speeches, much like the one I'm giving now. Not because they're great, although I hope this one will be, but because listening to them, I couldn't help but think, what on earth do you do if the person you're tasked with introducing is a total stranger, somebody you don't know? Do you go up in there, power through it, insincerely ramble off generic praises? Lucky for me, the person I'm introducing today is someone I feel blessed to introduce. Nick Camposano is a genuine friend of mine, a person about whom I'm happy to sing praise. We all know he's earned them. I remember meeting Nick in 8th grade. He liked sandwiches, I liked sandwiches. We would wait in line and get sandwiches together. They were pretty good times. It was actually in that cafeteria sandwich line that Nick and I got to know each other. We bonded over a TV series that we started watching at the time and have continued to watch until just this year. Unfortunately, although the series has declined in quality markedly over the past season, Nick and I's friendship has only developed. Beyond being just a good friend, Nick is also an incredible person, accomplished both academically and in character. No matter where in the high school he goes, you can be sure he'll be one of the smartest people in the room. He's a gifted public speaker, a powerhouse in debate, and a talented elocutionist. He's also hysterical. In MUN, English class, or even during Radnor meetings, I know I can always count on Nick to joke around with me when something needs to be made fun of. I feel lucky to have known Nick, I really do. I think the entire class of 2019 is lucky to have known him. He's brightened our days more times than we can give him credit for, and he's worked tirelessly for the senior class of 2019 as executive director. Duke University will be lucky to have him. 4 years from now, they too will have to let him go. And they too will feel just as sad as we do now to let go of something so important to us. Nick Camposano is going to do great things with his life. Of that, there's never been any doubt in my mind. The tragedy for us here in the Radnor community is that we have to let him go before he can accomplish those great things. With all that being said, please welcome my dear friend, devourer of sandwiches, the executive director of student affairs, Nicholas Camposano.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Sebastian. Fellow graduates, faculty, parents, and families, it's an honor to be here tonight in front of all of you. Now, before I begin, I'd like to take a moment to recognize Maritza Duratsu, who passed away almost 2 months ago. Many parents may not have known Ritz, but to the students in front of me, she was a beloved member of our Radnor community. As part of our cafeteria staff, she oversaw the snack stand, a place always flooded with students desperate to get pretzels, drinks, and of course, Russ's famous muffins. I knew Ritz well. For a couple of my years at Radnor, I had the lunch latest in the school day, the dreaded sea lunch. At this point, food supplies were depleted, and in the snack line, the weekly cookies were gone, devoured by those lucky students in the earlier lunches. After I'd gotten to know Ritz through our short conversations in that line, we set up an arrangement. On the days when the cafeteria prepared those highly sought-after cookies, she would set one aside for me so that I wouldn't totally miss out. That small gesture was kept between us, and I'll never forget smiling wide on those days, excited to have that moment with her. To we students, Ritz was larger than life. She served Radnor with an incredible sense of spirit, and she invested herself in the people around her. Her passion, kindness, and dedication will live on through the people she touched each day in our cafeteria. Thank you, Ritz. So I thought for a long time about what I should discuss tonight. In this position, I figured it was my duty to impart some wisdom or to leave the class of 2019 with some uplifting message about how we can change the world. Is that what I'm here for? Well, I don't know. I suppose, but after some thinking, I've realized I don't know much at all, and I don't really know what we are capable of. I'm in the same uncertain position as my peers as we all look ahead, wondering what we'll do next. On the surface, this vast uncertainty can be intimidating. From the beginning, we're conditioned to adhere to a rigid path. Elementary prepared us for middle school, then middle school for high school, and of course, high school for college. On these strict tracks we follow, it's about getting to the next milestone, and then the next one, and so on. Now what? Many of us have felt the pressure of having it all figured out. To put ourselves in the right position, to lead happy and fulfilling lives, we're told we must find the answers now. For some, it comes directly from family or peers, while for others, it's more indirect, especially as our culture shifts and demands that we prepare sooner and sooner for the rest of our lives. In any case, even in this moment in our history where the rules seem to be changing and the stakes higher than ever, we should take a breath. Let's accept that at 17 or 18 years old, it's not our job to know our futures. I mean, I spoke to my dad the other day about it, and he still doesn't know what he wants to do when he grows up. It's not the time to meticulously structure the years ahead. That energy is better spent building the tools to lead meaningful and fulfilling lives. This moment's a critical one, but it should not be some undue burden. Rather, during this time of transition, we're presented with an opportunity to explore interests and grow as people. In my own experience, I've struggled with taking that breath I've advocated for. Since the beginning, I've tried to follow all the rules and do everything I'm supposed to in order to meet certain standards. In elementary school, it was staying in those single file lines from our classroom to phys ed. Later, it was doing all my homework each night to stay on track. The benchmarks now, like going to a good college or getting a good job, had been for a short period the factors motivating me. These goals were never necessarily bad ones to have, yet these days we let them compromise our intellectual curiosity. We're often consumed by getting that A or that perfect score. I suppose I've come to realize that in my own life, there's a lot more to it than that. In this past year, I found that my notions of preparing myself for future success were fundamentally flawed. Rather than emphasizing personal development at my own pace, I cared more about the noise around me. With experience, though, which I think many of the graduates today can relate to, that misguided mentality was corrected. Becoming that idealized version of myself now seems a rather silly goal. I stand here tonight confident that I can go forward and that this entire class of 2019 can go forward motivated by our curiosity and our passion and our spirit, not by unrealistic standards or predetermined life arcs. So today we have a chance to take that breath. We don't have to decide what our lives will look like down the line or stress over not knowing what we want to do. We can learn to love the phrase, "I don't know," and use it to our advantage. Finding comfort in a certain level of discomfort will help guide us. Here at Radnor, we've been extraordinarily privileged. With dedicated teachers, supportive peers, and a tight-knit community, we Radnor students have been prepped to do big things. Again, I struggle to really articulate or fathom what those things may be, but I stand here tonight thankful and optimistic. The people here have made all the difference. Whatever we choose, we'll be ready. We'll be backed by all that Radnor's done for us and all the lessons we've learned here. Instead of stressing over the years ahead, we can lean on these experiences to help inform our decisions going forward. So let's reflect on this moment. Let's embrace this uncertainty and accept that not knowing might be more of a blessing than a burden. Thank you. So now I have the pleasure of introducing a good friend and the president of the class of 2019. This student embodies the Radnor spirit. His passion, kindness, and leadership have made him the perfect person to lead our class. Whether it was organizing prom or a last-minute but successful senior prank, he's dedicated himself to his job. It's been a privilege to work with him and count on him, and I'm beyond excited to hear what he has to say tonight. I can say definitively that he's helped us leave our mark. In the fall, he'll study at Northeastern University, where he's sure to make important contributions just as he has here at Radnor. Please welcome the president of the class of 2019, Alex Storrer.
Thank you, Nick, for the wonderful introduction. You make me sound too good, I think. So I think I get to be the first one to say it. Congratulations, class of 2019. We did it. We're here. So before I get into it, I was urged this morning to have a shout out to the band. Good work, Pomp and Circumstance, sounded great this year, you know. All right, but back at it. So first off, I'd like to thank all the family and friends who are with us today for all of your guidance over the years. Without your love and support, none of us would be in the same place that we are today. To all the teachers, staff, and administrators, thank you very much for dedicating your lives to our education. Even if we don't show it, each of you has had such a marked positive impact on all of our lives. And speaking for the entire class, I think I can say that we are eternally grateful for your service to us. A special thanks to Ms. Greenwalt and Lord Geyser, our class sponsors. Your willingness to meet with the student government last minute to make up for our procrastination, puns about your automatic jump shot, and unwavering dedication to the class have not gone unnoticed and have made our time here amazing. So thank you both very much. And finally, thank you, class of 2019. I'm proud to have served as your 3-time class president and to be graduating with you guys. Because honestly, we are the best, all right? You know, we are a class of people who are full of ambition, ready to push and motivate each other to succeed. Nick addressed this a little bit, but you know, last Monday, for instance, it was the second to last normal school day for us seniors, and I personally had given up all hope on pulling off a senior prank, but I still had seniors, you know, coming up to me in the library, encouraging me to post in the Facebook to make a prank happen. And then that little encouragement from the class incited our successful senior prank. 280-something of you showed up the next day with scooters ready for a Mario Kart-style Grand Prix around the first floor. I can't think of a better way to end the year, you know? As a class, we want to succeed. I'm sure many of you remember when we united as a class back in 8th grade and left our mark forever on Radnor Middle School, you know? We united and pulled off the greatest and most successful food fight in Radnor history. We have always had fervent participation in LM paint parties, trying to show some class pride and creating the most beautiful LM hallways, forgetting about freshman year. And you know, this fall, the energy that our class produced by putting on the greatest show of an LM pep rally really shows our class's ability to rise to the occasion and pull off amazing things. Whether it's the rowdiest ruckus that I can remember, traveling hours out to Hershey not once but twice to cheer on the gents on their road to the state final, or it's selling out the near, go on, clap, yes, good job, gents, let's go, gents. Or it's the selling out of the near Broadway scale productions of The Little Mermaid 3 different times. Our class is always out there supporting and pushing each other to be the best versions of ourselves. Sure. And even just a few short days ago, if you came to baccalaureate, you saw how many of us were eager to perform and share our varied talents. And you saw the rest of the class sitting right there in the sweltering Bryn Mawr College auditorium supporting us the entire time. Radnor is a very special place. Many of us have been here our entire lives, and in a short time, we'll all be venturing outside our little mainline bubble into this fantastical real world. After growing up alongside all of you, I'm confident that although we might not be in Radnor anymore, no matter where we end up, we will succeed because we are graduates of Radnor High School, and we have a class of ambitious individuals ready to watch us succeed. I urge you all now, sorry about the cliche, to take a look around you. Not only because this is the last time that we will all be under the same roof at the same time, but because this is the last time that we will all be what we are at this very moment. Right now, each and every one of us is brimming with unbounded potential, but the next time we see each other, we will all have changed. Some might be, composers, or might be a doctor, a lawyer, an ultimate frisbee player, a cellist, engineers, entrepreneurs, journalists, anything, But it'll all come from the class of 2019. And though we might change between now and the next time we meet, something will never change. We will always be friends, ready to show our unwavering support for one another. The Radnor community is something special. Never forget that. So thank you, class of 2019. Thank you for putting up with my essay-like Facebook posts and my mediocre prom decorating skills. Thank you so much for your cooperation and enthusiasm in all of our class events, which made for an amazing 4 years and have created memories to last a lifetime. Leaving the pavilion this evening, please be safe and walk out of here knowing that you are ready to forge a successful life as a Radnor High School graduate. Congratulations, class of 2019. And now I have the most distinct honor of welcoming up to the mic the man of the hour, the man of the year, our principal, Mr. Dan Bechtold.
Good evening, everyone. It's truly my pleasure and honor to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight, Dr. Shadi Hamid. Dr. Hamid is a Radnor graduate from the class of 2001 and an esteemed member of the Radnor High School Hall of Fame. After graduating from Radnor High School, Dr. Hamid went on to further his education at Georgetown University, where he set himself apart and graduated at the top of his class, earning a Marshall Scholarship to continue his education at Oxford University, where he earned his PhD. Dr. Hamid has conducted extensive fieldwork in Egypt, Jordan, Tunisia, and Turkey. He was in Tahrir Square when longtime Egyptian President Mubarak was overthrown. He was a Fulbright Fellow in Jordan, a David L. Boren Fellow in Egypt, and a resident fellow at the American Center for Oriental Research in Amman. A renowned author and political commentator, Dr. Hamid has written several books, including Temptations of Power, Islamists and Illiberal Democracy in a New Middle East, which was named a Foreign Affairs Best Book of 2014. He also wrote Islamic Exceptionalism, How the Struggle Over Islam is Reshaping the World, which was shortlisted for the 2017 Lionel Gelber Prize for the Best Book on Foreign Affairs. Dr. Hamid is a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute and a contributor to The Atlantic. His articles have appeared in the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and a host of other publications. Dr. Hamid is a highly sought-after expert on Middle Eastern politics and has been a guest on such programs as PBS NewsHour, CNN's The Situation Room, CNN's Lead, NBC Nightly News, MSNBC's Morning Joe, America's Newsroom on Fox, and CNN GPS. Dr. Hamid is also a regular guest on NPR. Please join me in extending a warm Radnor welcome to one of our own, Radnor alumnus and Hall of Fame member, Dr. Shadi Hamid.
Okay, let's see. Thank you, Principal Bechtold. I'm really humbled and honored to be here with you today. It's a bit surreal. So it's been about 18 years since I've been back, at least in here. So a lot has happened since then, and I'll try to talk about some of that. But it really is amazing to be back and to share this moment with you. So I suppose I'll start with a confession. I wasn't cool in high school. I got cut from the basketball team, which I think was a mistake. I'll just say that. I don't know if Mr. King is somewhere in the audience. I hope he is. He believed in me, but I actually totally choked in my last tennis match as a senior. It's actually a little bit of a sad story, but it was 3-3, and whether I won or lost would determine whether we'd advance in the state playoffs. So there was a lot riding on this. Everyone was watching us because it was the last match. I actually had 3 match points, and I double faulted on 2 of them. So that's really bad for those of you who follow tennis. In the end, I lost in the third set tiebreaker, and I still remember that volatile mix of confusion and self-loathing. I walked to the net, and I shook hands with my opponent, still trying to process what exactly had happened, what had went wrong. I didn't want to face my teammates, so I actually crouched down by the net and I started tearing up. So, true story, a little bit sad. So, and this leads me to my first cliche, and I think cliches are a critical part of the commencement genre. So here's my first one that I'll offer to you today. Failure is normal, but I'm not going to tell you that failure always makes you stronger or better or wiser. Sometimes it doesn't, but you can choose to learn from your failures. That part at least is up to you. There are other cliches, and some of them are best avoided. Here's a popular one. What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. I'm pretty sure that's not true. Here's another one. No pain, no gain. Definitely not true. Then there's the classic, be yourself. But how can you be yourself if you don't know who you are yet? In preparation for this speech, I've tried to reflect a little bit on my high school years. I remember the newsletter I did with my friend Dave McMenamin, who's now a prominent ESPN commentator and journalist. Some of you might know him. Our newsletter was called In the Paint. We also had a show on the local access channel, I guess it was channel 16 at that point, and it was called In the Paint Sports Chat with Shadi and Dave. We loved the Chicago Bulls, and we wanted to express that through the written word and through media. So we did, and in a way, we're still doing it 20 years later, each in our own way. We loved to write then, and we both still love to write now. That said, I'm not going to pretend that high school was easy. And let's be honest, high school can be a challenging time, full of insecurity and wanting to belong but not knowing how to belong. But there was something wonderful, at least in retrospect, of believing you could try new things, that everything, or at least almost everything, was still ahead of you. I'm still kind of young myself, at least for a commencement speaker, but being actually young is pretty great. So don't take the next few years for granted. I remember what it felt like to feel like life was truly and utterly open. I'm 35 now, so looking back, it's been about 18 years from 17 to 35, and those years were really quite something. I lived in different countries, I did what I loved, I fell in love, I fell out of love, I saw a revolution up close, I saw what it was like for a revolution to end tragically in violence. I saw tanks in the street. I was actually citizen arrested and dragged into a police station and accused of being a spy in Egypt. I wouldn't recommend that part. But there were good times and there were bad times. And for you, there will be bad times and there will be moments where you feel completely stuck. I wish someone had told me then that when you're in that moment of sadness and failure, you lose the ability to see the world around you. You think it's quite literally the end of the world, or at least the end of your world. But I wish I had known then that it almost always passes. I was actually talking to a close friend the other night, and I asked him what he wished someone had told him at the age of 18. And he told me something that I think is quite important at any age. And it's this: Pretty much everyone is insecure about something. Everyone's a bit confused, even including the older, more established teachers, parents, and mentors who will seem to you like they've got it all together. They won't seem insecure, but that might just mean that they're better at hiding it. Once you understand that, life becomes at least a little bit better. Many of you will be starting college soon. That too is not the easiest transition. I started at Georgetown in August 2001. I was away from home for the first time in my life, and I was trying to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. That was hard enough, but then 9/11 happened, just a couple weeks into my freshman year. I saw the smoke from the Pentagon from my dorm room, and for me, in a sense, it was a tragedy on two levels. First, as an American, but also as a Muslim, to see people committing such acts of horror in your name and in the name of your religion. But those early months shaped me, and that's part of what led me to embark on the journey that I'm still on today. As I saw it, there was something fundamentally wrong in the relationship between the US and the Middle East, and I wanted to understand what that something was, and I wanted to do whatever I could to make it at least a little bit better. So in a way, I followed my passion. But I don't necessarily want to say follow your passion, because that's also a commencement cliche. It's not as simple as following your passion. Otherwise, everyone would follow their passion, and we wouldn't have a need for commencement speeches in the first place. Sometimes what you're passionate about is what you do for the rest of your life, but sometimes it's not. You can be passionate about things that are outside of work and outside of your career. You'll have time to make those decisions. Try different things and be open to things that you weren't previously open to. And I'm sure everyone probably tells you this nonstop now, but this is the time to experiment and to grow and to figure out what sticks and what doesn't. But it's kind of funny, like, just being here talking to all of you, because it's a bit odd that I'm here trying to give you advice, because I still look to people to give me advice. Sometimes I feel lost, sometimes I wonder about the decisions I made, but also the decisions I didn't make, which is to say that you never stop trying to figure out how to live your life better or how to live your life in a more fulfilling way. It's also interesting for me because I study the role of religion in public life, which means I'm always trying to understand what it means to believe. And I think, actually, that belief is more important than passion. And I don't mean belief in the religious sense, although it could be God, religion, or a higher power. I'm talking about a belief in something that you refuse to compromise on. It could be an idea, it could be a cause, it could be your family, but it is important to know what exactly it is that you stand for, because normal life is in part about the slow grind of small compromises. They accumulate and they take a toll. Those compromises might be about pursuing money, power, or fame, and all those things are tempting. They're not necessarily bad either, but each one of you will have to know what your red lines are, what you're willing to stand up for and fight for, and you'll have to know when money or power or whatever else isn't quite worth it because they undermine your integrity. And your integrity is at the core of who you are. One somewhat more practical piece of advice I can give you is to have a diary or a journal and to start writing in it. Writing things down allows you to remember what you felt at particular moments. And years from now, you can read what you wrote at a difficult time in your life, and in the process, you'll be able to learn not just from other people's experiences, but from your own. By writing things down, you remember what was and wasn't important to you. And I'm sure you all know the feeling when you look back and you think to yourself, why the heck did I do that? We've all been there. And well, if you've written it down, you'll know why. I myself have been writing in a journal for the last year and a half, maybe not every morning, but I try. I use something called a bullet journal, and I include a gratitude log, which is just a few quick bullet points about what I'm grateful for. And it's a kind of a way to set your intention at the beginning of the day. I know it sounds a little bit corny and cliche, but there is a point here. And when I was preparing for this speech, I looked back at my gratitude log, and I wanted to see what had really stood out to me in the prior months. And it was interesting. The things I was most grateful for were rarely things that had to do with my work, even though I love my work. The things I was grateful for mostly had to do with people and relationships. I'm grateful for my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, who's also a Radnor High School alum. I'm grateful for my friends, the moments of laughter, the late night debates, the people who believed in you and took a chance on you, the thrill of meeting someone new, the feeling of belonging. It's not so much happiness that I'm describing, but something deeper, and it builds inside of you like a low-intensity current. Pleasure is visceral, but pleasure passes. Joy doesn't. Joy persists. It stays with you. So I can say this, I don't know exactly what joy is. It can be elusive, but when you find it, you feel it. So when you find it, try to hold on to it, try to nurture it, try to let it linger. And if that sounded dangerously like a cliche, then I apologize. But some cliches are cliches for a reason, because they're true. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Hamid. Thank you for joining us today and sharing those words. Class of 2019. I was reunited recently with a childhood philosopher that I looked up to many years ago, and my children have always enjoyed as well. That childhood philosopher is Baloo the bear from the Jungle Book. If you're familiar with the Jungle Book, it's a story of a boy named Mowgli who's who's in the jungle and is being raised by wolves. And he has to leave the jungle when Shere Khan, the man-eating tiger, is after him. So they help him to get out of the jungle, and he's befriended by Baloo the bear, who teaches him about the bare necessities of life, and also what it means to be a good friend. I'm going to take a risk with you for a moment, but as they walk through the jungle, Baloo would share with Mowgli, "It's the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. It's the bare necessities, Mother Nature's recipe for bringing the bare necessities of life." It's very kind of you. My children told me not to do that. I challenge you, class of 2019, to define your bare necessities, to listen to the words of the other speakers and the words of Dr. Hamid about finding what matters most to you. Define your bare necessities. I hope you include in your bare necessities family and friends. Family and friends are what will be with you when you go through those challenges and struggles and failures and help you through them, and they'll also help you understand that maybe those challenges and failures are opportunities. Family and friends are the ones who will be with you when you have successes, and will make those successes that much more enjoyable. And they'll also keep you humble. While I'm on the family and friends class of 2019, my son, my second oldest, just graduated last week from high school. So I thought about what words I would want to share with him. And I do have an important thing I'd like you to do. Please text your parents back next year. They're not laughing. Maybe think about setting up a voicemail box and leaving them a voicemail every so often. I know it's a foreign concept. When you think about your bare necessities, I also hope, as Dr. Hamid talked about gratitude, I hope part of your bare necessities is gratitude, serving others, and being kind. It doesn't take much for us to be kind to one another. And when you give back and serve others, it not only makes our world a better place, but it also is going to make you feel good. I hope you continue on your quest and your thirst of knowledge. Our staff here, from kindergarten to 12th grade, have prepared you, have been excited to work with you, to challenge you. And I hope you continue with that quest of knowledge and understanding as you move through life. The last piece I'd like to ask you to think about in your bare necessities is to remember that we all want to be part of something, and we all want to feel like we're part of something, or that we belong. And I want you to know that as of today, in just a few moments, you forever belong as a Radnor alumni. This community is so proud of you, is proud of your accomplishments, it is proud of what this class has done, and it is proud of the mark you have left on our community, and we wish you all the best. My hope for you, class of 2019, is that you have the knowledge to define your bare necessities, that you have the conviction to live by them, and then you have the courage to fight for them. Congratulations, class of 2019. It's now my pleasure to introduce our valedictorian, Priya Ganesh. As Priya comes up, I'll embarrass her a little. So come on up, Priya. Priya is co-president of the Radnor High School Future Business Leaders of America FBLA Club, and in this role, previously placed second in Introduction to Financial Math at the National Leadership Conference in 2017. She's also president of the Radnor High Q team, which finished the 2019 season second in Delaware County. She plays clarinet in the RHS band. She has participated in the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association PME Band Festival at the district, regional, and state level. Priya is the president also of the RHS Math Club and enjoys competing in math competitions as a member of the Lehigh Valley Math Team. She has participated in competitions such as the American Region Math League competition and the Harvard-MIT Math Tournament. Her proudest accomplishment is qualifying for the American Invitational Mathematics exam all 4 years of high school. She's a 4-year member of the varsity girls tennis team, a member, Dr. Hamid, maybe you get some tips. A member of the National Honor Society, and she volunteers as a tutor outside of school. Priya plans to study chemical engineering at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's my pleasure to introduce Priya Ganesh as our valedictorian.
Thank you, Mr. Batchelor, for the kind introduction, and thank you to the administrators, teachers, staff, my friends, and the entire class of 2019 for making my Radnor experience as great as it has been. I also want to thank my mom for being both my most supportive fan and my toughest critic, and pushing me to be the best I can be, and my dad for always insisting that I see the bigger picture for every action that I take. It is a privilege to have been a student of Radnor all my life. This school is my second home, and I'm sure many others here would agree. We've grown up together, we've been happy together, we felt frustrated together, we've been stressed together, and we've accomplished so many things together. Radnor students have played in national ensembles, won state championships, and acted and sang in amazing musical productions. Of course, no Radnor sports game would be complete without the ruckus, and no concert or musical would be successful without an audience. The amount of support and pride our class has for its own members creates a sense of community that is almost impossible to find anywhere else. As I was reminiscing on my experience as a member of this class, certain memories stood out to me. Some of these were expected, like the dances at the LM pep rally and staying up all night at prom and post-prom. But it's the little things that grabbed me most and reminded me how much I will miss this community. It's marching onto the field with the band, trying to integrate myself into the shapes being formed around me. It's the late nights spent in group chats, desperately trying to learn material for a test or finish a lab. It's catching up with someone you haven't talked to since elementary school and learning about their lives and hopes for the future. It's celebrating after a win and keeping our heads high after a loss. The relationships we've formed within our class will live in our hearts forever. Radnor also encourages each one of us to discover our passions. Radnor provides so many avenues through which to express ourselves, whether we enjoy music, sports, writing, art, theater, debate, or even some combination of these activities. At Radnor, you can really pick your own path and go as far as you want. I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had here to find my own voice, and I think that as a whole, the class of 2019 has really branched out and pursued goals that are meaningful to them. Of course, none of this self-discovery would be possible without the motivation, guidance, and support from all of our teachers. Although the constant Schoology notifications could be annoying when we were trying to enjoy our weekends, we knew we needed the reminders to get anything done on time. Our teachers made themselves available by answering questions the period before a test, or even offering advice at 11 p.m. the night before an essay was due. Our teachers really want us to succeed, and we are extremely grateful for all they have done for us. Radnor has been our home, our safe place, our sanctuary. But, as French novelist André Gide wrote, one cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. Radnor is our shore, and we must have the courage to leave the safety and comfort we feel here. After we end this chapter of our lives today, we should look back fondly on our memories of high school. But remember that the world ahead of us will demand much more than high school ever did. For the first time, we will be completely responsible for our own actions, which is both scary and exhilarating. We will feel alone at times, and we might wish for certainty or reassurance. But we will go forward, Radnor strong, and persevere until we have achieved our goals and pushed our boundaries beyond what we thought was possible. Congratulations, class of 2019. I can't wait to see all the places you'll go and the things you'll accomplish.
Thank you, Priya. It's now my pleasure to introduce our salutatorian. Alexandra Sasha, he is section leader and principal cellist in the Radnor High School Orchestra and has represented the school in a variety of festivals, including the PMEA District 12 Region 6 All-State Orchestra. Sasha, come on up. She was also selected by audition to the National Association of Music Education's All-National Honors Ensemble in 2017 and 2018, and will travel to Berlin, Edinburgh, London, Amsterdam, and Hamburg as a member of the U.S. National Youth Orchestra this summer. In addition, she was a 2018 and 19 Young Arts Foundation Award winner in the classical musical category. She is also a member of the National Honor Society and the Annenberg Science Symposium. During her sophomore year, Sasha was one of 44 students from the United States awarded an all-expense-paid summer trip to Germany after scoring in the 96th percentile on the level 3 of the 2017 National German Exam for high school students sponsored by the American Association of Teachers of German. Sasha hopes to pursue a career that combines her two passions, science and music. She plans to attend Columbia University and the Juilliard School through the Columbia-Juilliard Exchange. Congratulations, Sasha.
Thank you, Mr. Batchelor. Before I begin, I would like to thank my parents, Nana, Phyllis, and Theodore for their unwavering support, my teachers for their patience, and I would also like to give a shout out to the orchestra over there, and the decaf quartet for being my second family throughout my time here. What is your catchphrase? Throughout high school, mine has been, after so-and-so, it'll be so much easier. After the 3 tests next week, it'll be so much easier. After I'm done with the SAT, it'll be so much easier. After these string of auditions, it'll be so much easier. Yet, the so much easier feeling has remained elusive. Life has not gotten easier. The grind never ends. This catchphrase was actually thrown out of the window when I labored through my college applications. When I had to consider, why do I want to apply to this school? Do I really want to major in this? What do I really want to do, to become? For some people, these are matter-of-fact questions, but they weren't for me. Of course, on my application, I put down some grandiose ideas followed by some confident-sounding justification. But the truth is, I'm still not sure if I have the right answers. Some people are so certain of what schools they want to go to, what majors they'll choose, and what careers they want to pursue. And if you're these people, I want to say congratulations. I envy you. It is a blessing to know exactly what you like to do, are good at doing, and can and will achieve. But if you're like me, I want to give you a hug and say, this is okay. We are on the same boat, embarking on this journey of uncertainty and possibilities. We will chart the unknown, learn to brave through the storms, modify our courses, and navigate the straits as we move forward. Our compass is our hope of a better understanding of ourselves and our relationship with others. Imagine the thrill of chipping away and remaking ourselves, the possibility of making a difference in the world. Our anchor is our memories of being together, burning the midnight oil with our best friends, selling Krispy Kreme to raise funds for our clubs, shouting and cheering for the Raiders on the sidelines. These will accompany us, comforting and assuring. We will not be easily swept away. Life may not get easier, but the scenery will surely get prettier as we learn to appreciate the small things along the way. What will be my new catchphrase in college? What will be yours? We may not be sure yet, but that is why Class of 2019 will stay connected. We'll update each other. Thank you.
Mr. Batchelor and members of the board, for the purposes of awarding diplomas, I am pleased to introduce Mr. Chad Geiser and Mrs. Charlene Mastro.
Alex Daniel Storrer.
Caroline Margaret Barnhart.
Sebastian Bryant.
Caitlin Mary Dressel.
Helen Elizabeth Adams.
Amna Raid Alhazmi.
Blake Wilder Anderson.
Graham Thomas Armstrong.
John Reynolds Austin.
Lena Rachel Armstrong.
David Azarano.
Caroline Elizabeth Bader.
Samir Keyshawn Ballard.
Sarah Grace Banwell.
Brooke Shelby Basilavecchio.
Alexander David Bay.
Naya Sherry Bell Monroe.
Brian Charles Berniker.
Anthony Jasper Bloomfield.
Rachel Catherine Bodinger.
Jessica Ross Bogutz.
Shannon Marie Boylan.
Nicole Renee Brasili.
Catherine Zaradich Bragdon.
Isabel Katharina Breedveld.
Andrew Thomas Brown.
David Anthony Calloway.
Sydney Ann Brumfield.
Douglas Bruce Campbell.
Cara Mia Camposano.
Nicholas Eugene Camposano.
Aiden Lindsay Carter.
Alexandra Huh.
Azucena Castro Farfan.
Benjamin Lawrence Channinson.
Adriana Chen.
Leisha Chen.
Kyle Cheng.
Adrian Mei Yi Chung.
Suwan Cho.
Patrick Michael Civitella.
Thomas Dean Ciato.
Shayna Karen Clapp.
Matthew David Cohen.
Samantha Rose Cohen.
David John Colleran.
Henry Joseph Collins.
Nathan William Congleton.
Jack Robert James Connolly.
William Leo Rico Connolly.
Henry Barclay Cook.
Isabella Simone Coppola.
Kate Kessler Cox.
Caitlin Gale Coyle.
Molly Ray Crawford.
Isabel Rose Criscuolo.
Patrick Morris James Cullen.
Samuel Chuba Hero.
Gina Marie Dignazio.
Sarah Joan Deotolo.
Archer Thomas Dara.
Andrew Bradley Davis.
Colin Remy Andre de Vliger.
Sarah Del Orco.
Jack Willis Demi.
Erica Anna DeCarlo.
William James Dixon.
Annabelle Claire Dinda. Charles Richard Doan. Sarah Constance Dolan. Shane Donaher. Jackson Connor Dooley.
Tyler Lyndon Dornan.
Alistair Stewart Douglas.
Francis Xavier Duffy.
Chimere Leroy Duncan.
Aiden Francis Dean Dunn.
Judah Ahmet Duran.
Malcolm Nazem Duran.
Daniel Lim Dutkowski.
Austin Joseph Engelhard.
Etienne Joseph Falquet.
Sylvan Alexander Falquet.
Aziza Faizullah Eba Epstein.
Corinne Mary Fitzpatrick.
Lexi Rachel Fogel.
Leah Janae Ford Bay.
Leah Veronica Freibowitz.
Abigail Britt Frischman.
Maria Geich.
Juan Bautista Galino.
Priya Ganesh.
Hannah Rose Gans Crocker.
Blake Patrick Gotron.
Afian Janos Gavin.
Maria Antonia Gagan.
William Michael Geisel Weitz.
Joshua Alexander Gerstein.
Jamie Adams Getty.
Luigi Giacomucci.
Domino Cornelius Gilly.
Oscar Dante Gerard.
Theodore Douglas Girton.
Christopher Francis Glansman.
Sophie Catherine Gold.
Sarah Brooke Gauncher.
Owen Axel Goodchild.
Brandon Matthew Gretzula.
Rosinger.
Anna Lucille Gurian.
Olivia Jane Gustorf.
Madison Spence Hannum.
Vernon Lamont Harper.
Chloe Pascal Hawkins.
Elliot Hayes.
Christopher Michael Reinhardt.
Bennett Christopher Miller.
Grace Ann Henderson.
Catherine Sinclair Hobbs.
Bailey Reed Hoffman.
Dylan Michael Holly Overturf.
Zoe Lorraine Holman.
Holly Alex Holtzberg.
Adam Clark Hornbaker.
Mary Higgins Horseman.
George Philip Hoysgard.
Sharon Sue.
John Fitzsimmons Hughes.
Joshua Michael Hunn.
Melissa Jordan Hunn.
Varun Iyer.
Chloe Michelle James.
Alec Jang.
Joshua Joel Jones.
Patrick Caper Barcelata.
Benjamin Andrew Carnavas.
Cameron Grace Kelly.
Seamus Padraig Kennedy.
Jakob Kerber.
Luke Scholes Kilby.
Hyunmin Kim.
Song Chan Kim.
Griffin James King.
Bobby James Kirsch.
Michael James Kerwer.
Anush Shireen Kajori.
Daniel J. Kurtz.
Minjong Kwan.
Nicole Page LaFiandra.
Sarah Elizabeth Lanzone.
Grace Madison Lawrence.
Ethan Matthew Lee.
John Joseph Lee VII.
Gunhee Andy Lee.
Ignacio Leyva.
Marshall Dominic Leanne.
Nicholas Anthony Liotta III.
Mitchell James Lohmeyer.
Paige Carey Lowry.
Christine Michelle Liu.
Amanda Louise Megan.
Evan Michael Majorsack.
Alana Grace Malik.
Alexander Gray Malik.
Lane Alexandra Mamoniskis.
Grace Manganero.
Colton David Markowitz.
Sienna Isabella Massiantonio.
Teresa Ann Massaro.
Catherine Grace Masterson.
Aiden McCarthy.
Nadir McCurdy.
Anastasia Elizabeth McGlynn.
Megan Lynn McKeon.
Braden Alexander Meandro.
Megan Elizabeth McNamara.
Nicholas Joseph Majensky.
Peter Fox Miller.
Ryan Matthew Minikotsi Wayland.
Zoe Ann Metzger.
Antonia Victoria Maffa.
Jamie Lynn Moore.
And Rebecca Lynn Moore.
Archibald Rogers Morrison.
Alexandra Frances Moyer.
Blake Madison Heath.
Sean Thomas Malarkey.
Kai Jinkook Mulligan.
Emily Teresa Myers.
Hiromichi Nagayumi.
Fuangmi Win.
Natalie Ann Nikander.
Stuart Job Potts O'Riordan.
Taylor Alexandra O'Shea.
Ethan Lewis Ott.
Elena Catherine Owens.
Stephen MacDonald Pahidas.
Esther Pack.
Cindy Noelia Palma.
Tucker Sumter Papa.
Mingyu Park.
Anthony Robert Passless.
Noah Tyler Pepper.
Brooksy Somerton Perrin He.
Joseph Jacob Pevner.
Ludwig Wei Posauner.
Nicholas Xavier Razavi.
Liam Chase Reed.
Aiden Razzie Riley.
George Rengepis.
Jameer Ryder.
Esmeralda Paola Ramon Moreno.
Samuel Orlando Rioboli.
Lacey Irene Robinson.
Mab Vera Rongioni.
Audrey Kate Rosenblum.
Douglas Ebby Rosen.
Snea Roy.
Sophia Catherine Royal.
Madeline Eliza Rubenstein.
Sydney Grace Rufo.
Madeline Byrne Ryan.
Henry Salinas.
Samantha Louise Scanapico.
Nicholas John Sherry.
Eliana Rose Schlagman.
Jackson Gabriel Scott.
Olivia Catherine Shea.
Kieran Patrick Sheridan.
Julia Jatson Shee.
Alexander Skvortsov.
Mariah Nicole Smith.
Harvey George South.
Jenna Maria Spray.
Nina Margaret Staples.
Peter Angelo Stepanatos.
Blake Whitney Stefano.
Lauren Chinyi Yang.
Benjamin Andrew Stewick.
Thomas Fitzgerald Subak.
John Porter Sotheby.
John Edward Tolucci.
Mitchell Ray Taylor.
Zach Russell Taylor.
Antonio Giovanni Tilly.
Suhaila Tillman.
Una Michaela Timony Tracy.
Aiden Luke Tadero.
Rebecca Elise Torin.
Noah Charles Triangan.
Grace Margaret Tuhig.
Luna Vasich.
Marina Catherine Vaughn.
Benjamin Elliott Verbovsky.
Joanna Claire Vines.
Alicia Noel Vitali.
Amanda Faith Vitt.
Patrick Michael Walker.
William Gibson Wallace.
Andrew Gregory Ward.
Meredith Josephine Webb.
Aisha Parmar.
Jessica Marley Weitzman.
Nadia Wilson.
Jade Amara Wynn McNeil.
Luke Campbell Winnick.
Thomas Mayo Winnick.
Joshua Jihoon Wu.
Elric Sebastian Wu-Fei.
Max Chen-Fei Shia.
Dylan James Van Duzen.
Emma Ksenia Franson.
Aranop Yargaja.
Jenna Kathleen Young.
Lucas Samuel Young.
Jacob Andrew Zaslow.
Ethan Kelly Zay.
Jenna Vivian Zanuzzi.
Olivia Nilafar Zanuzzi.
Zihan Zhao.
Julia Claudia Zito.
Grace C. Yang.
Carla Renee Weedman.
Angelo Gibbs.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Caitlin Dressel. I'm fortunate enough to have been able to serve as the Class of 2019 Secretary. I am both honored and thrilled to be addressing all of you, families, administrators, faculty, and now high school graduates. Thank you for waiting patiently. I promise your next chapter begins soon. We have all been given an opportunity most don't have, a chance to take advantage of everything Radnor has to offer. Not only are we leaving the pavilion with a degree from one of the best high schools in the state, but we are also departing with a bond to one another, a bond that will carry us to any place we choose to go. Our compassion, our genuine interest in creating meaningful relationships, and our determination to leave high school comfort zones behind are some of the characteristics our class so admirably embodies. This makes saying goodbye so much harder. We are moving toward other achievements. While facing the reality of our upcoming adult lives, we are told to stand a little taller, grow up a little faster, and say goodbye to all that we've ever known. We've spent a lifetime cultivating a version of ourselves, and whether or not it is perfected yet, it is deeply intertwined with years of influences and memories. Maybe it's not worth letting go just so quickly. I urge us all to put forth effort into continuing our relationships with mentors, teachers, advisors, and friends. Stay close with people who make you a better person, no matter how far away they may be. Reflect on the awkward person you once were when you entered high school. Laugh at the awkward person you still are today. Acknowledge your proudest moments, no matter how insignificant they may appear to others. Admire your personal maturation. Hold on to every layer and version of yourself that has surfaced over the past 4 years. Cherish every moment while you still remember it. You are the person you are today for a reason. You do not have to let go to grow. We have a lifetime here of memories, a support system, a home here within ourselves that will last forever. Don't forget to look back once in a while to admire all that you've already created for yourself in Radnor High School. Congratulations, class of 2019. We did it, and we did it well. Please stand to join Dr. Glennie and the Meister Singers in our alma mater.
Family and friends, I am pleased to introduce to you the Radnor High School Class of 2019.